Hello everybody, it's GirlGotGame, and welcome back to Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk. Today, we are starting the Tower Overlord's route himself, the Ashen Hawk, the Apris, whatever you want to call him. So, yeah, I'm very excited for many reasons. I'm probably don't have to say why, but anyway. I'm sure you guys can guess why I'm excited. So the game plan for this is I've been vacillating between two different game plans, and I think I've decided on, for the most part, I'm going to do like the little interview questions with just Ashen Hawk, as well as any short episodes that are included in the map. And then for the main thrust of the story, I'm probably going to focus more on the scenes that have CGs that he appears in, with a couple of other main events, like him meeting his sons, for example, and things of that nature. So it's going to be a bit of a mishmash, but I'm going to do my best to try to keep it all together. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we're in chapter 1, as you saw, and this is when he first wakes us up and has a CG, so I thought it's a good place to begin. I was drifting off again. My eyes had been closed since I woke up, but my body refused to fall back asleep. I stayed in a state of drowsiness the entire time I lay in bed. What dream was I having? I couldn't remember. I knew for certain that it was a bad dream since my eye was still burning. I also sensed that morning was approaching. Was the sun already rising? I better get up soon. The thought came and went, but my body refused to move. It weighed heavily on my bed with a desire to sleep. What should I do? It's almost time for work, but... Oh. I felt something touch my eye. Something that was cold and fleeting, like the snow. The smoldering heat in my right eye was dissipating. I always loved this feeling. No, it doesn't feel good at all. It's... My mind awakened as anger began to rise from within. I opened my eyes, and a man's face, one that I was terribly familiar with, came into view. Hello. Good morning, master. I spoke to him without even trying to hide my bad mood, and yet the man looked at me with joy.
Good morning. You've woken up quite late today.
I had a bad dream, thanks to a certain someone. I placed my hand over the spot where his lips touched in an attempt to erase the sensation.
It's just for good luck, as usual. Your eye seems to be warming up again.
Why, thank you. But next time, please do that only when I'm awake.
Oh? Meaning I can do so whenever I please, as long as you are awake?
I said no such thing.
No need to be so shy.
I'm not being shy, I just want you to be more considerate.
Oh? We're both men here. There's nothing shameful about it.
His knowing expression was all the more troubling. And now I know that you know. This man was Ashen Hawk. Though his general idiocy might deceive, he was the overlord of this tower. After a series of unforeseen events, we found ourselves living together in this tower, secluded from the rest of the town. He had been here since before I arrived, but I still didn't quite know who he was. The reason was that Ashen Hawk himself didn't have any memories to share. His residency in the tower was a mystery to him as well. But we made an agreement when I started living here that he would be my master. And I regretted that promise now. Oh. The room around us was filled with a sunlight stronger than usual. It seemed he was correct that I overslept. There's no time to waste. I need to go to work.
Yes, it's so nice that you enjoy working. Good luck to you.
I also need to make a living for a certain somebody.
Even more wonderful. Your loyalty to your master is deserving of praise.
I said I have no time to waste. I need to get changed, so can you get out?
Jump. Oh, excuse me. Then what about my breakfast?
I believe there's some cold bread you can go chew on, Master.
Goodness! You want me to eat that rock-hard bread? How on earth would I even prepare it? This is madness.
Just get out! Ashen Hawk would keep talking if I let him, so I kicked him out of my bed so I could get changed. I really have to make sure I wake up earlier than him starting tomorrow. I made preparations to leave and headed toward the entrance. At this rate, I knew I was going to be late for work. I needed to leave the tower before getting caught again. As if he were just waiting for me to think that, Ashen Hawk called out to me with a hunk of cold bread in his hand.
Ah, hold on! There's something I forgot to tell you.
I thought about ignoring him, but his tone of voice sounded serious.
You will have a wonderful encounter today.
How do you know?
Oh, didn't I tell you? I'm actually a fortune teller.
Master, didn't you say the other day that you were a wizard?
Let's just say I'm a great wizard that delves into both sorcery and star divination alike.
Whether he was a wizard or a fortune teller, the only thing I knew with certainty was that this fortune was unreliable. Well, thanks. I'll be going now.
Take care. Now then, I need to find a way to soften this bread.
You don't even need to eat, man. Alright, so that's our first scene with Ashen Hawk. I'm gonna go skip ahead now, and I'll bring you guys back in when something changes. Alright, well guys, looks like there is some changes already, and it's in the form of short episodes with townspeople, which I was not expecting. I thought, oh, we did all that. We're free now. No, I guess maybe as you go through the game and unlock endings, more townspeople show up to comment on things, which is kind of interesting. I also need to go to the tavern to get the lily emblem. The store is unlocked now. I'm gonna start with the church, and then probably go here, buy the thing, and then go down here. That's my goal, so let's start here. Ah, a short episode with Rabbit! Yes, please. Girl, how you doing? Elric and Lawrence. We have subtitles for the rabbit. Wait, so we can understand, or is this for the player? I've never quite figured out if Jed is the one talking to the townspeople, or if it's the player talking to the townspeople.
Puh! I love it!
That's it? That's all you have to say? I mean, great. You nailed it. Good job. Alright, let's go talk to the young man, and then we'll do the antique shop. You're a young man, are you? Interesting. Okay, because we did not run into Hugh for a long time the first time. Like, what chapter was it even? It was like way after like Francisca died and all that. That was the first time we actually like saw Hugh. And now it's just like, ah, the young man at the tavern. Yes. Okay. I'm intrigued, game. You got me. My favorite food? I've never really thought about it. Yeah, it could be plain, but anything my girl makes I would like. Oh? How's that for an answer? What? I can't? Has his tattoo always been so prominent, or am I tripping? I don't remember it being, like, so in your face. Am I crazy? Have I just forgotten? Has Hugh wiped my memories? I just don't know. Okay, transform into your old man self. There you go.
Looking for something?
Yes, I need a lily emblem. I'm so glad the town memory points carry over. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any more notes? No. An unmasked illustration of... Wait. Unmasked illustration of masquerading Lugus. Can be viewed in the gallery. Okay, we'll save that. Another one for Levon. And one for Levi. An episode of The Beast and the Witch. Ooh. I'll buy that. Reading Maniac. Obtained all notes. Hey, I'll take that.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's everything. So we got all the notes now. So we're gonna read that during the notes this time, I guess. And then these we'll save for next time, and then these we'll also save for next time. Okay. Cool beans. Thanks, you. And then the tower. Murder rumors, a human failure, and... Oh, we're talking to Jed. Okay, well, thank you. Now the game's also answered my question of, like, who is everyone talking to? They're talking to us. Okay, we are also a player in this story. That's good to know. Jed. The handyman. Being a handyman is typically doing the work no one else wants to. There's lots of physical labor involved, and it can be dangerous. But I feel happy when the client thanks me. When I consider that it's a job that brings smiles to others, it's something I enjoy doing. Thanks, Jed. Appreciate you. Okay, now that we're done that, let's go and do Ashen Hawk's interview as well. Servants.
You seem to ask strange things. But that is correct. I do have a diligent servant that works daily. The servant is quite diligent, but has a tendency to overwork. I would appreciate it if I was not forced to worry so much. As a ghost that doesn't know how to deal with frozen bread, I cannot live alone. Does this answer satisfy you?
I guess it'll just have to do, won't it? Okay, and then we'll go through both of these. So we'll start with murder rumors. I asked around town a little more before returning to the tower. It appeared empty, with Ashen Hawk nowhere in sight. I should get some lunch. I might be able to think better on a full stomach. How should I go about looking for the Kaleidovia? I tried to think while stoking the fireplace. A cinder flickered an orange color. I used the scoop to take the piece into the kitchen stove to start a fire. Maybe I should make soup. I'll make a little bit extra so I can just reheat it for dinner. Before I started cooking, I took a slice of frozen bread and placed it near the fire. Then I chopped up an onion and a carrot into uniform pieces before stir-frying them in the pan. I threw in some fragrant parsley and continued cooking until it started to wilt and poured in some water. As it continued to simmer, I skimmed off the film that formed on the top and let it sit on the stove. That should do it! In the meanwhile, I checked the food stores to see what was left. We still had plenty of root vegetables, but not much bread. I should also buy some wheat when the prices go down. As for fish... well, I haven't had that in a while. I love watching her move around as she cooks. As the vegetables started to lose their shape, I threw in some beets and a little salt and simmered it some more. Usually I'd add some meat or bacon. Unfortunately, my financial situation didn't allow for that. Let's check the bread. Okay, it's much softer now. I would have toasted it, but I was going to eat it with soup, so that wasn't a problem. Right when I took a bowl from the cupboard, my vision went dark. Yes? Whoa!
eating a feast when the master is absent. You're a hopeless servant, you know that.
Ashen Hawk. Because I sounded irritated, Ashen Hawk quickly removed his cape from my eyes.
Hi there. You're making such an angry face.
I keep telling you to stop messing with me while I'm preparing food.
Excuse me, then. I was attracted to the aroma.
Well, I would appreciate it if you showed up earlier. Now I have to do extra work. I took out another slice of the hardened bread and lightly toasted it over the fire in the kitchen stove. The fragrance wafted into the air. I put it into a small basket for the dinner table. The bowls were filled with soup now, completing a humble lunch at the tower.
What a feast this is!
No need for sarcasm. You'd better not complain about how there's no meat in it.
No. I'm saying this from the heart. Your cooking always makes every meal a feast.
Why, thank you. Then why don't you eat up before it gets cold, Master?
Gladly.
After smiling, Ashen Hawk sat down at the table. The steamy soup and bread had a rich flavor and warmth that hit the spot. Maybe I should have added another pinch of salt.
It's plenty good. It really warms me up.
Were you out somewhere, Ashen Hawk?
Yes, I was flying about these cloudy skies. I'm glad that it won't be snowing.
Uh-huh. I'm jealous of how you can live so freely.
And you appear to be running about restlessly as always.
Of course. Bread and vegetables don't appear out of thin air.
Then let me tell you of a rumor I heard through the grapevine. It's not a happy one, though.
What kind of rumor?
There have been many strange corpses found around town, usually limited to secluded places.
I had heard of this before. They were the serial murders that Lucas was investigating. Was there another murder?
You knew about it. It's not exactly recent news, but there have been too many instances altogether.
That ought to attract attention, but I'm surprised the culprit hasn't been caught yet.
Our murderer might be very good at hiding. They call it the Black Shadow. Maybe because they have no idea what it looks like.
The Black Shadow. I tried to remember the murder scene I saw before. Lucas was investigating it and told me what weapon the murderer used. Hey Lucas, been a while.
The serial killer.
Serial killer? Were those bloodstains?
If you aren't the culprit, then leave. I'll arrest you the next time I see you.
Wait. Why are you doing this, Lucas?
This was used in the crime.
This is... a knife like a hawk feather.
Knife? What about it?
I heard that the murder weapon was a knife with a motif of a hawk feather. There was something odd about that, and they said that it's reason to believe the murderer is with the Hawk clan.
I see. A hawk feather.
But a hawk wouldn't do something so obvious. It would just intensify the feud. Ashen Hawk nodded and soaked up some soup with his bread. We stopped talking. I wondered why Ashen Hawk had nothing more to say about it, but I continued eating.
I prefer meals that are warm and remain in the heart, rather than needlessly extravagant ones.
Huh?
It's not good to see only with your eyes. Appearances are not everything. The darkness in the hearts of people is invisible.
It's true that I'd never cared much about the appearance of my cooking. I always thought the taste and cost were much more important. But that's not the point here. I stared at Ashen Hawk's face as he continued eating like nothing happened. I'm sure what he said had meaning, but when I tried to remember what I knew at the incident, I just got even more confused. So it's not the doing of a hawk? There's a chance they're deliberately leading people into thinking that way. Committing murders in this tightly knit town is just asking to be caught. The darkness in human hearts. Ashen Hawk laughed from across the table.
Jed, your soup is getting cold.
Whose fault do you think that is?
We shouldn't have talked about this over a meal anyway. May I have the soup for tonight, too?
He was the one who started this, so it was somewhat annoying. He had finished the soup and, of course, the bread basket. He's very hungry for a ghost. I did make some extra.
Then I'll look forward to it for dinner. It's always fun to watch the time pass when you have a great cook.
I'm not a cook. I pouted a little while clearing the table. I finished cleaning up and got ready to go out. I saw Ashen Hawk sitting down to read a book. He also moved the fire back to the living room from the kitchen stove, and it was glowing brightly.
Are you going out again? How about staying at home and taking it easy with a book once in a while?
Ashen Hawk, you just want an excuse to sit down. I have work to do.
Oh, that's too bad. I found some text that you might be interested in.
Huh? What is it?
Here, this. When you have mashed potatoes accompanying sliced meat casserole, it brings out an indescribable taste.
It doesn't say that at all.
But I do. That's odd.
Don't give me that. You just want to eat meat.
It's like how you tend to drink more wine when you have food with a savory sauce.
If you want to complain, then go make enough money so that you can buy meat and bread.
I would if I could, but as a ghost, grabbing onto currency is harder than tying a ring around a cat's neck.
I guess you're right that getting someone lazy to work is harder than trying to tame a cat.
That's a clever comeback.
If you don't have anything else to say, I'll be going now. I'm on a search for something, so I don't have any time to waste.
Going on a search is fine and everything, but be wary of walking around in secluded places. There are rather dastardly deeds afoot.
I think I know which places are dangerous, so you don't have to worry.
Never be overconfident, Jed.
Ashen Hawk's voice was slightly tense as I turned around to look at him. But when I did that, he returned it with a gentle smile.
No matter what clothes you wear, you are still a woman. It doesn't hurt to be careful.
I was at a loss for words at that sudden warning. I didn't know how to respond when he treated me like a woman.
Just don't make me worry about you too much. I can't live on without you.
That feels oddly accurate. The tower does need a cook and a servant, after all.
That's right. And you should return before the fog gets any thicker.
Fine, I'll be careful.
Good girl.
Ashen Hawk always said things that flustered me. But when he worries for me so seriously because I'm a woman... I felt my ears grow flushed. I didn't think it was too big a deal.
Jed, do you want to warm up next to me before you go?
No thanks! I'll be going now!
Take care.
I hated how he seemed to be able to read my mind. I decided to just go. It's cold. The moment I took a step outside the tower, I felt discouraged. How nice it would be if I could just read a book by the stove. No, if I start saying that, I'll be no different from Ashen Hawk. He was lazy and hated any kind of work. If I didn't take care of him, he wouldn't even be able to live. He said so himself, so it really had to be that bad. But if I have to say it, he is kind. I thought about it. If he were nothing but a drag, I would hesitate to associate with him at all. Whenever I returned from the biting cold in the darkness, seeing his usual smile lessened the shivering of my body just a little. Without even knowing it, I had already forgotten the cold and continued down the path toward town. Alright. And now, our last one. A human failure. Going back and forth between the tower and the town is tiring. Walking through the snowy forest took a lot of energy, but I had a reason to go back, so there was nothing I could do about it. I wonder if Ashen Hawk is here. I lightly brushed off the snow, shifting the weight of my bag as I opened the door. What? Upon entering, a surprised yell escaped me. There were down feathers in piles here and there on the floor. Why are there feathers here? Did a chicken wander in here or something? In the snow? That's a funny joke if I ever heard one. Anyway. Jokes aside, what a mess. I placed my bag to the side of the kitchen and took out a broom from the closet to clean up the feathers. They started at the entrance of the tower and continued to the kitchen, onto the windowsill, the fireplace, and trailed toward the chairs. And the one sitting on a chair was Ashen Hawk, lazily staring at a glass bottle. The culprit is too obvious! While gripping the broom tightly, I swept the floor. And when I got to the chair, I shouted, "Ashen Hawk!" After all this cleaning, Ashen responded as if he just noticed me.
Oh, welcome home. You're back early today.
I'm not done working! I was given lots of food as compensation, so I wanted to leave some here. Wait, that's not what I meant!
Why the rush? Want me to make you some tea so you can calm down?
You're going to make me brew the tea, aren't you?
I'm the only one who knows where the tea leaves are.
It was the usual exchange, but I didn't want to hear it in this situation. Just do something about all these feathers!
Feathers?
As if he just noticed them, he plucked one of the feathers off the floor. I cleaned up most of them, but there were still some here and there.
Ah, I didn't notice. I suppose it's that time of year for shedding.
Shedding? I'll have you know that we can't keep a bird here. There's no space, and feeding them costs money. So where's the bird?
That's not it. I was out today in the form of a bird. The feathers were stuck on my clothes.
Huh? I was speechless. He sometimes said that he would shapeshift into a bird or a cat before going out. If he were some grand wizard, that would be possible. Although all of that was self-proclaimed. Then where did you go in that form?
I can't quite remember. It seems that my memories of long past have been lost.
He said that so brazenly. Whenever things became inconvenient for him, Ashen Hawk always said he had amnesia or was a ghost. Whatever. I'll clean up, so can you move out of the way? I gathered up the feathers and brushed them to a corner of the room. There was some cat hair mixed in with the dust, making it even worse. Come on, move out of the way! Sweep, sweep, sweep. I swept under the chair Ashen Hawk was sitting on. He lifted up his feet with a troubled look and then escaped to the shelves.
It seems as though the master of this place is being chased out.
Please follow the directions of the staff, at least during cleaning. I finished cleaning around the desk and went to the windowsill. After finishing there, I went along the walls.
I get the feeling you're chasing me around.
I'm just cleaning in order. I'm doing the shelves next.
Uh-oh.
There's a big piece of trash there. I better sweep it all up.
I get the feeling that you're treating the trash more nicely than me.
That's just you. At last, I was able to sweep it all outside the tower. Phew, much better now. Satisfied after finishing up, I closed the door before the cold air came in and looked around the room. Yeah. Let's see what to do next.
Is there more?
Ashen Hawk had sought refuge near the windowsill and raised his brow. I slipped by him and opened the window. I cleaned the place, so it's better to get some fresh air.
Well, well. It seems like my cleaning servant wants to turn the inside of the tower into winter, too.
I'm not your cleaning servant. I said I'm just getting fresh air.
Then I suppose it can't be helped.
I didn't know what he meant by that, but he went straight to the bed. He then jumped on it and rolled around. It was still the middle of the day. What are you doing?
Care to join me?
I'm asking you what you're doing.
I wanted to get into bed before I froze.
Aren't you embarrassed about rolling up in your blankets while the sun's still up?
Don't you think it's a waste to use something so comfortable only at night?
You may say that, but you sleep all day, all the time. If the bed could talk, I bet it would plead to have some time alone.
Oh, really? Well, I better teach it to appreciate a person's warmth, then.
What are you talking about? Just get up! Ashen Hawk appeared bent on sleeping, so I tore the sheets away from him. If I didn't do that, he would just hang around lazily all day.
Jed, I'm enjoying a very important date right now.
I should wash the sheets, too. It'll help me sleep at night.
Encounters are all about timing. If you miss out on this timing, a precious moment will be lost.
Don't make up some grandiose excuse just to sleep in.
Oh, brother. You really are so...
I thought I heard him speak in a restless tone, but suddenly my vision went dark. Ah!
I see you really want my attention.
How did you come to that conclusion? Before I realized it, Ashen Hawk had dragged me into the bed with him. Hey!
Now let's get in together before we freeze from the cold.
I never said I was cold.
Then perhaps you were lonely. When you told me not to stay in bed, you were just craving attention, weren't you?
I never said that! I tried to get out, but he was holding me down with the blanket.
Oh my, your cheeks are flushed. Did you catch a cold?
He's doing this on purpose! I could feel Ashen Hawk's breath on me, and his long hair tickled my cheek. This felt embarrassing, no matter how much I resisted. Stop this. If someone sees us, it'll look terrible.
Oh, really? I think it would look heartwarming.
You're the only one that would think that. If someone else sees us, they'll get mad, wondering if we did this every day.
Every day? I wouldn't know about that because I have no memories.
There he goes again, changing the subject. I looked at Ashen Hawk's face. His eyes were fixed elsewhere. His blank stare made me feel like I shouldn't brush off his comment about not having memories. But this situation is different. Can you move, Ashen Hawk? I said that angrily because I knew it would not stop otherwise. Ashen Hawk started patting my hair with a troubled look on his face.
I thought it was a nice suggestion for rare occasions. Don't you think you'd sleep better with human contact?
Don't go to sleep in the middle of the day to begin with.
Then it's all right at night?
You can go to sleep, but you're sleeping alone. You know I'm a woman, so it just makes you that much more of a bastard.
True. It's ungentlemanly of me to drag a lady into bed.
He finally released me from the bed. I shut the window before he could come up with another excuse. By the way, what were you looking at earlier? I glanced at the bottle on the desk, shining in the light.
Oh, this? It's always been here.
There's nothing inside, but the color of the bottle is pretty.
Yes. I don't know why, but I wanted to shine it under a light.
The pale blue color was beautiful, but the bottle was empty. I still wonder about this, like, what is the significance of this bottle? I had wondered what the point was of looking at an empty bottle, but the glittering side of it was mesmerizing. I mean, the mesmerizing part, is that just because it kind of is like the Kaleidovia in that respect? I don't know. So where did you get it?
I don't remember.
I knew he would say that. I started lecturing Ashen Hawk for his behavior. If you have time to stare at the things in the tower, you should at least do a little cleaning. It's no wonder you didn't notice all those feathers on the floor.
It's true that I never minded it.
Also, don't climb into bed during the day. You're a grown man, so act like it. And who in their right mind would drag someone into bed to gloss over that fact? I have work to do, you know.
The kind of work that would vanish if you took a little break is not that important of a job in the first place.
I don't want to hear that from someone who doesn't work.
True. You're quite strict today. You don't give any leeway to the ghost who wanders this tower.
And that!
What?
That too, Master. You always bring up how you're a ghost or have amnesia to avoid talking about it. Even if you don't have your memories, you can still clean.
Then I'll try to do so starting tomorrow.
He said that as he climbed back into bed, so I rushed over to take his blanket away. You're going to say you forgot about it tomorrow. I'm going to wash the sheets, so get out of bed!
Do I have to?
He replied with a saddened face. Why was he so fixated on the bed? Unbelievable. Just on his appearance alone, he looked like some sort of aristocrat, but on the inside... Ashen Hawk was older, but Levon and Levi were much more mature.
Then you leave me no choice. I shall borrow your blankets.
What are you talking about? I'm not lending them to you! Really, just unbelievable.